Hello everyone, this is Raymond. So welcome to the 5th step of the Rubik's Cube tutorial. So this time I figured that it is probably better to do it from this angle, as you guys might be able to see it clearer. So yeah. So this time for the 5th step, so 5 out of 7. We got 3 more to go, including this step. Okay, so our goal for this step is just to make the top surface. But, okay, let's actually, yeah. Okay, so we're making this top surface, but not solving the whole cube. It's actually gonna look more like this, which is something you might see in an actual solve. Yeah, so do that, solve the whole surface. Okay, so there will be 7 different situations. So, but that does not mean 7 different algorithms. That just means one algorithm. And applying it over and over again, we will get the top surface. So, let's look at the first 2 situations. They're like this. Okay, so I only have 2 3x3 Rubik's Cubes, and it is kind of hard to show it with a 4x4 or 5x5, so I decided I'll just make the other patterns later. Okay, so these are called Sunes, S-U-N-E, and so they basically look like a fish. And when we encounter a case like this, the first thing we're gonna do is to just put, so since it looks like a fish, we're gonna put the head of the fish, which is right here. We're gonna put it on our left-hand side and on the closer block towards our body, from our body. Yeah. And so the difference between these 2 Sune cases is that when we get them in the same position, so like right here, we have the fish head facing towards us, right, on the left-hand side. And the difference is that we got this sticker is this color, but for this case, which is a different case, we got this sticker, but it doesn't match the color right here. It actually matches the color right here. Okay, so we're only going to use one algorithm for this. So the first case, which this algorithm solves automatically. So I'm just going to be using the algorithm notations that I talked about briefly in the last video, and I will be putting the algorithm notations in the description if you guys have any questions. Okay, so R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. That solves the surface. Okay, let's do that again. So in this case, recognize it, put the fish head here on the left-hand side, closer to our body. This block is the same color as the top center, or this color. Yeah, okay. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, for this one, let's take a look. I'll make that into another pattern first. Okay, and so for this, so still a Sune, put the fish head here on the left-hand side, closer to our body, and then instead of the block facing the front, now the block facing the right is the same color as the top center, or this piece, which is the fish head. Okay, so we do that algorithm. Put it at the same angle as the last one. Do R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, so now we turn the top layer and we take a look. We can see that now it becomes the suitcase from just now, which we have the fish head here, left hand side closer to our body, and then this block in the front is the same color as the top center. Okay, so we do that algorithm again. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, and I'm actually gonna scramble the cube a little more. Okay, so yeah, and let's do that again. Okay, so fish head here, this block on the right hand side is the same as the top center. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little faster since we just went over this, and when I go to the other situations, they're called cases actually, I'm gonna go a little slower. So R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime, and then do a U2, which gets into the first suitcase. So the color in the front is the same as the top color. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, let's make that into it. Yeah. Okay, so now let's look at this case. So what we see is that we got a cross here. So these two are the next two cases. They're very similar as well. And yeah, so I'm gonna be talking about this one first, and then I'm gonna talk about this one. So the difference between these two is that when we look at the side of these, we can see that this one's got one color that has one piece that has the same color as the top, and we got two adjacent corners that have the same color as the top, and then we have one on the back here. So one in the front, one in the back, one and two on the left side. And when we look at it this way is that we got two on either side. I mean one on either side. So one on the left, and one on the right, one on the left, and then two on the back. And that's how we're gonna hold it. We have two blocks on the back. And there should be one on the left and then one on the right. So as you can see, there's a yellow right here. Top color is yellow. Okay, yellow here. Okay, so for this case, when we rotate it around, you can see that we have two in the front and two in the back. And when we put it this way, which is how we're supposed to put it before we do our algorithm, I have two on the right side and two on the left side. Okay, so let's go into this one first. Same algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, now we turn the cube. Okay, so now we can see that we got the first suitcase that I taught you guys about. Okay, so do that same algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And that solves it. Okay, and make that into something else. Alright, for this case, we put it at this angle, two on the right, two on the left. Just now we had one on either side and two on the back, which does not look like this. It actually, I'm just gonna twist the corners, but don't do that in an actual solve. So it's gonna look like this. Two on the back, one on either side. Okay, but Note, this is very important. Do not twist the corners. Okay, I just twisted it to make it faster and to get it into the previous case faster. I can get it into the case in another way by doing this, but that takes more time. I could have simply just twisted the corners. Yeah, and yeah, you guys get the idea. You guys are watching my channel. You guys are all smart people. Okay, so for this case, 2 on the right, 2 on the left. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, so now we get the first assume case straight ahead. I mean straight away. Okay, so we do that algorithm one more time. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, hope you guys sort of get the idea. Yeah, and let's move on to the 5th and 6th cases. Okay, so now these shapes. So we have cross plus 2 corners, adjacent corners, right? We're gonna put the adjacent corners in the back and look at the cube. So 2 different situations again. So for this one, the first one on the left side, we got 1 block, 1 of the same colors on the left and the other on the right. And for this, we just have these 2 facing the front. Okay, so hope you guys can see it. Yeah, I think you guys should be able to see it. Okay, and note for this case, put the solved blocks on the back, so away from our body. Yeah, like that. So as you can see, and if you're holding the cube, so this is the top of the cube, your face should be right here, like right here. You see the cube. Okay, in this case first, we're gonna do the algorithm. So R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, so let's look around the cube now. So we can see that now it gets into the cross shape that I just talked about. So we got 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and then 2 on the back. Okay, so we do that algorithm one more time. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And we get the soon again. So basically we're just trying to get every case into the soon by doing that algorithm over and over again, and then just do the soon to solve the whole surface. Okay, so now we do it again. But make sure we put the fish head on the left side and closer to our body. Okay, so let's do that again. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay. So I'll make that into something else. Alright, and now let's look at this case. So got these 2 in front. Okay. So there's a whole block right there, just like that one that I just talked about. But that one has the 2 blocks on the side, the 2 yellow pieces on the side. This one has them in the front. Okay, so we do the algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, so now let's look around the cube. So now we see that we have the second soon case that I talked about, right? Okay, so what we do is R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And then do a U2. It gets into the first soon case. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, now, last case. So, this one is the only thing that doesn't have a, like a, I don't know what I should call it, like a counterpart. So well, similar shape actually. So, this is the 7th case of the top layer, and it's the only case that doesn't have like a shape similar to this. So just now we had the tank shapes, the crosses, and the soons. So those so the soons have something in common, the tank shapes have something in common, and then the crosses have had something in common. But this one, it's by itself. This is the only situation that looks like this. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just like we're gonna look at it as a soon, the first soon actually. So we're gonna look at this as the fish head. We're gonna ignore this piece for now. Okay, and then we can see that we have this color that matches the top center. We're gonna do the algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, so now it gets in the first tank shape. Wait, actually, it's the second tank shape that I talked about just now. Okay, so we do that again. Wait, actually, I think there might be a oops, wait. Just a second. Okay, so there it is. I think there might be a better thing to do, but I'm not sure. That's how I was taught, so let me try this. Actually, we're gonna look at this as the second soon. Okay, so we do R. So this color, this yellow piece is actually on the right side. My bad. Yeah, on the right side. Fish head right here. Ignore this piece. Okay. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay. And yeah. First tank shape. So we got this on the side and this on the side. Okay, do the algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, now it gets into the cross shape. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Well, just basically put it at any angle for this case. Either the first soon angle or the second soon angle. And you will eventually be able to solve it, but actually I'll try to come up with a better solution. So now we get the soon, and we just finish it off by doing the algorithm. But actually let me try something. Actually, let's put it at this angle. So I put it here. So a piece on the block on the right, on the left is actually gonna match the top color. Let's try it. Okay, that actually is better. Okay, let's try this one now. So now the piece is on the left. Okay, this one is not that good. Yeah, so actually put a piece on the front left and have diagonal corners, one on the back left and one on the front right. Yeah, this is the better way. However, you are able to solve it from all four angles, but this is the best. Okay, do the algorithm, and now you get the second soon. Do it again. Do a U2, and then do the algorithm again. And now those are just the 7 different cases for the top face, which is the 5th step. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments.